Hey, Jenkins,
Yes? Something bothering you?
can you just tell us a story from, younger days of being Guardian Warlock?
Yes, please. I'm sure you have some great stories to tell. After all, you're a famous warlock, aren't you? There must have been some great adventures you've been through.
Something has to be in there. Come on, whip it out.
Well, come on, tell us. Okay, if you say so. Yay!
Yay.
I'm gonna tell you a story about a beautiful friendship between two very unlikely friends and what happened to them. So just relax, be patient and quiet as I, Old Man Jenkins, tell you the story of Strange Coin the Knight and his friend Sayo the Marvelous Hunter. Long ago, 6 guardians slaughtered a god, Crota, son of Oryx, the Taken King. With Crota's last dying breath, he called out to his father, and Oryx answered. Oryx came with his massive ship, known as the Dreadnought, and parted at the Rings of Saturn. On board the ship, deep within its mysterious and unknown layers of places, there was a simple knight known as Kralok. He was tough, dangerous, and had nothing to fear. Even Oryx himself considered Kralok to be a danger and one of his best knights. Kralok was tasked with protecting the Dreadnought and kill any guardians in sight, a duty soon to be broken in secret. The day guardians started to patrol the Dreadnought, Kralok had quite the job in front of him. He killed every guardian he saw, but then he stumbled upon a hunter, and this hunter didn't seem to harm anyone. It just seemed that he wanted to explore the place that was on. Kralok didn't believe it at first, so he charged towards the hunter, only to see that the hunter was feeding the worms. Kralok, in shock, just looked at the hunter. The hunter turned around and said with a hive language,
Hello.
Kralok had never seen or heard anything like this, so he responded with, "What kind of freak are you? You speak like my tongue, and you're not shooting me?"
No, I believe in a thing called freedom, so I don't really care if you're fallen, hive, X. Well, that's more of a rare occasion. Yeah, whatever. Take this token as appreciation and token of friendship. Oh, by the way, I'm Sam.
Sayo. Well, I'm Kralok. Wait, what's that in your hand?
Nothing. Strange coin.
Strange coin.
You like it? You know what?
It's
I'll call you strange coin.
It's so odd, but pretty. May I have one?
Of course. You're not that rare, but they're strange.
Strange coin. I like it. You gonna call me that?
Yeah. I don't see. I mean, you're the first hive not to slash me as soon as I, were in your field of view. Most wizards just blast me without a thought.
The knight accepted his gift and his name and they became the best of friends. Now this knight would be known as Strange Coin. Strange Coin told a lot about his past to Seo. He spoke about how he had invented a magical fire called Azul da Fla, which roughly means blue flame in Hivish language. And he spoke about its mysterious powers and how it was like an everlasting flame, never to be extinguished. Just like the hope of the Hive that one day they would be victorious. He also spoke of how he was a designer and builder of the ship, and how Oryx had planned out his revenge in more details. They both started to come up with their own plan to make sort of an agreement between the two races. A peacemaking program, if you might call it that. What Strange Coin came up with was a brilliant plan. He suggested that they should plan a big meeting with the vanguards of Earth and Oryx, the Taken King. Together, they would hold a meeting and make sure that a discussion would be made. This discussion would determine the future and freedom of the both races. Seo agreed with him. This was going to be the perfect solution. Two races uniting as one. When no one was looking, Seo and Strange Coin would play all sorts of games with each other. Seo learned Strange Coin Tag, and he learned Seo Zartoven, which was a Hive game that they played. They spent days with each other and never wanted the fun to end. But one day, Seo got a call from Cade 6, the Hunter Vanguard, in which he was informed to return back to the tower. Seo promised Strange Coin to return. Seo came back to the tower and returned to the Vanguards and started to talk about his plan. Zavala thought it was downright dangerous and stupid, as he pointed out that the Hive are not to be trusted in. They are not allies, they are our enemies. Cade actually liked the idea, as it made him remember the time when he was friendly with the Fallen. Ikora kept turning the pages of her book. Then she said it would be a dangerous task to complete, and that a power of a warlock should be in the hands of this mission instead of a hunter. But Cade interrupted Ikora and insisted on the plan. Seo was one of Cade's favorites after all, and Cade convinced the others that Seo was trustworthy and that the plan was going to work. After the discussion with the Vanguards, one last step remained to convince the Taken King to join them on this meeting. As Seo returned to the ship, Strange Coin warned Seo about the horrors deep within the Dreadnought that they would most likely face. Freaks of natures, dark magic, horrible places were waiting for them. Would this truly be the end of their friendship? Would they both die? Seo felt determined. He was ready to do anything to bring peace between the two races. He wanted the dream to be a reality. And so they began. They went to the court of Oryx and brought a resonating statue to their recipient. Strange Coin found the right statue and gently put the ring. Now there was no turning back. They went through the portal and went on their epic adventure throughout a massive ship. They went deep within its depths, to the darkest and scariest of all the dungeons you could ever imagine, to the very birthplace of the Hive. They went to magical and fascinating wonders and puzzles just to speak to Oryx. was at this time a horror started to spread throughout the Dreadnought about an ancient god slayer on board the Dreadnought had returned. It was the legendary Titan himself, Jolt. He had arrived to fulfill his duty, to put the fear into the hearts of all the Hive and to kill whoever Zavala had given it as a target. Strangecoin and Sayo finally arrived at the king's door.
Oryx, almightiest of all fathers, I, Kralok, your trustworthy knight, need to talk.
The door opened and Oryx was waiting for them.
I sense that you have betrayed your own kind and your own job. You've been upon my favorites of warriors. You've been bloodthirsty. You've been slaughtering, doing everything right. You, Kralok, have been my elite. But now, you have found this threat to our own existence. What makes him so special? He is the same kind that murdered my son. Why should we trust in him? He doesn't want to hurt us. He has spoken. Every guardian aren't the same. I've been aboard a ship, seen multiple guardians that've been just like the one who took Crota from you. But Sayo, just like so many others, aren't like them. We shouldn't judge their entire species just because there are a few errors. Oryx, we want you to come to a meeting. The vanguards, the highest sitting guardians on Earth, will be there. We need you to be there to make as an agreement between two races. Me and this hunter named Sayo could. Why can't you and the vanguards? Do we really want this war between us to continue?
Oryx was skeptical. A good argument coming from one of his elite knights, but still the lust for revenge. The thoughts about just getting back Crota in his life. What would Oryx do, really?
Fine. If now everything you said is the truth, then I will allow it. But I hope you know what you're dealing with. If he turns out to be a traitor, you, Kralok, will kill him then. Understand?
Minutes after they left Oryx, the daughters came and informed Oryx about Ektar and how he was slaughtered by Jolt.
Sayo and Strangecoin arrived back at the court of Oryx, where Sayo was actually giving Strangecoin a gift, a carrot cake, as a show of their work and friendship. Sayo needed to return back to the tower to discuss how the meeting went with Oryx, to plan further meetings with the Vanguard as well. This could actually mean that they would indeed bring freedom and peace to two races. However, in the shadows of the Dreadnought, a certain Titan was lurking, rushing with desperation, and his razor light drawn at the highest and brightest of all flames. Jolt saw in terror how Strangecoin was munching on some carrot cake. You see, in Jolt's eyes, He thought that he had lost his own carrot cake on the dreadnought, and that this knight that he didn't have any clue of had stolen it and made his own feast on it. Titans are well known for tanking a lot of damage. Strangecoin was pretty tough with his leatherish armor, but Jolt had his hammers. Sayo heard an unknown explosion coming from a very familiar location. He ran towards it, only to see that Strangecoin's armor was scattered all over the place. This could only mean one thing to him: that he had lost the one true friend that he had that day. But despite all this, Oryx actually knew if Kralok was dead or not. And apparently, he wasn't. You see, the Hive tend to be these very mysterious creatures, as they are. And we are all informed and instructed that their worms are a part of them, but its own being. But Kralok, he was actually very unique. He and his worm were one. So he and his life, his soul and legacy, continued forward unknowingly to Sayo, but not to Oryx, as a worm. Yes, Kralok's worm had escaped into the burrows and continued to grow further and further away to hide from any sort of threat. The worm crawled to a dark and gentle spot where one day it could be reformed back into the knight it once was. One day, the worm heard a familiar voice echoing throughout the halls. The worm screamed after it, and soon enough, they were reunited again. They both, just in tears of happiness, were happy to see each other again. Sayo hugged the worm as hard as he could, but not too hard. He really wanted to stay forever this time. He told the worm of how sorry he was for leaving him, and that he felt sorry and guilty for what happened to him. The worm accepted his apologies and said that there was nothing he could have done. Guardians are made to serve their own leaders, just as the Hive are to serve the taken king. They had many discussions. They still wanted to make this plan going work. But as soon as they came to the part where they were going to discuss the whole meeting and where to plan it, where on the Dreadnought or perhaps on Earth they were going to hold it, or perhaps something in between, maybe the moon even, Say was informed by Cave to leave and come back to the tower. Completely defenseless, the worm heard steps in the dark. The steps just started to get louder and louder as a big and mysterious figure walked out of the shadows and pulled out a weapon. You thought you could steal my stuff? You think that your kind will win? You really think that you are something, huh? No. I will destroy all of your kind, and it will all start with you. This was not going to end well for Strangecoin. Sayo needed to return to the Dreadnought once more to reunite with Strangecoin and inform what the vanguards had spoke to him about. He flew to the Dreadnought with the low speed that his ship could give. He ran towards the location where he found a worm, but the only finding he found was a pool of blood and guts. Sayo couldn't believe it. He'd had lost the one meaningful thing again, but this time it was permanent. Oryx felt it as well, a real loss this time, as he cried out to the hive, and they cried with him. Their loss spread like wildfire, and soon enough you could hear the cries and screams echo throughout the ship. A funeral was held at Crota's castle to commemorate all that Strangecoin had done. Led by the death singers Iranuk and Irhalak, and attended by nearly every hive on the Dreadnought, including Oryx himself. A message was sent out to Sayo about this funeral of Kralok. He wanted to take farewell of his friend as well. He brought flowers with him as he walked through the shadowy abyss below the moon. He arrived shortly at the castle, and then he proceeded to sit right beneath the tomb and cry for Kralok. Never would he felt the need to take farewell of a friend so often, but also in such a serious matter. He would always remember Kralok. The hive would come to make stories, symbols, books, and even rocks dedicated to Kralok and all of his work for the hive. Yes, Kralok was no ordinary knight, and the hive knew this. Yes, Kralok would be remembered forever, because to the hive he was no ordinary knight, he was someone special. After the loss of Kralok, Oryx was found by Jolt and his fire team and completely slaughtered. The hive lost all of their hope as the Taken King fell. No meeting and no peace came to be. Sayo and Jolt even broke their own friendship with each other around 20 years ago, and I haven't heard from them since. The end.